Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another post-game live stream. Was that pretty? No, not at all, but we took care of business at the end of the day. I had to make a whole other StreamYard account because I don't know why. Just wanted to send the email to my original StreamYard account, so I am really confused with that, but we are live anyway. Hopefully I am live on my YouTube channel. Watch me be live on like some whole other platform. That would be hilarious, but it also wouldn't be at the same time. But let me pull this up. Let me see if I was even like scheduled or let me check. Different scenery because it's actually thunderstorming outside. Yo, Drew's in the house. What's going on, Drew? Huge W for sure, man. Yeah, how do you feel about the game? How do you feel about the game? Definitely a gritty, grind out style of basketball game, just like Thibs loves, just like Thibs loves. But I also want to thank you guys so much for 2.55K. Pretty much, you could say, or 2.5K in general. I really appreciate it. You guys are absolutely amazing, and I really appreciate the great amount of support that you do show to this channel. But great W. Got to take care of business in Atlanta. I do think a lot of Knicks fans are actually going to be traveling there. You know, there's loyal Hawks fans, there's loyal Atlanta fans out there for sure, but Knicks fans travel pretty damn well. And Randall, you could say maybe like he still didn't have the best of game, but he started to really get into some type of flow in the second half of the basketball game. So hopefully he had some momentum and he actually plays well in Atlanta. We'll see. And there's kind of going to be pressure taken off of us because it's not going to be our home crowd, and I might have to look up what our record is when we play in Atlanta, but this is the playoffs. Yo, Derrick Rose, absolutely amazing. I believe he had 26 points. Yeah, Derrick Rose was great. But the reason why this is a totally different like scenery is because it's like thunderstorming really bad outside. So I had to move it here, like kind of in my kitchen area. But yeah, what's going on, Robinson? Um, Drew says Randall's got to find ways to step up when he gets his opportunity. But overall, if we hold the Hawks to under 100 points, that's a win in my books. Yeah. Hey, let me see the final score. Yeah, they have like 98, right? It's like 102, 98. But yeah, they couldn't make any shots in the fourth quarter. They're so no, they had 92. So many Hawks fans making excuses. Oh, the only reason you guys won is because we missed shots in the second half. Well, we missed every shot in the first half. I don't think Randall's nervous. He just doesn't have it. I think he'll be fine heading into game three. We'll see what happens. What's going on, Logan? Big Task says clutch. Everybody's calling Trey Young a chip. Yeah, I didn't hear like the cheering because obviously I was live on someone else's channel for the game. But yeah, everything I heard is pretty funny. Everything is genetically wrong with Trey Young other than his basketball skills. Gosh, yeah, I don't get it. He's like 23 years old, balding. He's a weird looking dude. He definitely is. Yo, Jeremy's in the chat. What's going on, Jeremy? How you doing, man? Great W. What's going on, Tamer? I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. But he says, hey, bud, what's up, man? Yeah, I didn't hear it because I was actually live on Big Blue in the Bronx channel. Make sure you sub him up, Big Blue in the Bronx. I actually just hit 200 subs. Congrats to him. He actually allowed me to be on his channel, where he invited me to come onto his channel, or his brother, Luca. Make sure you check them out. A lot of fun, little watch party. A lot of fun for sure. Make sure you check his channel out. Great win tonight, but Randall and Barrett have to step up more. Well, dude, because Barrett didn't play in the fourth quarter. He didn't play at all. So I'm not going to say that was on Barrett. Barrett was actually like one of the key reasons we're starting to get back into the game until some momentum was, of course, starting to go away due to Bullock and that stupid flagrant, which was clearly a flagrant. But yeah, Barrett didn't play in the fourth quarter, I believe, at all. Because we know Thibs, like, RJ's 20 years old. He's one of the best players on the team, but he wants the experienced guys out there. But yeah, that's why he was silent. He didn't play at all. Yeah, and guys, I have a question for you guys. Do you think he definitely was quiet down the stretch, Scott? I thought we did a good job. Do you think Derrick Rose is going to start up against the Atlanta Hawks? Because he did actually start the second half. So I feel like Thibs, is he just completely off the wagon? Do you guys think he's going to start like for the rest of the series or the playoffs, Derrick Rose? But yeah, Rose got some minutes. It's pronounced Jason. Okay, man. I'll call you Jason for now on. Obi played really well. I thought Obi and Taj had some, like, maybe not most eye-popping stats, but I love that move of starting Taj in the second half, too. Knicks crowd should have said it's real quiet in here. Yo, I think Knicks fans are going to travel really well to Atlanta. And we know Atlanta sports is known for, like, choking. But I don't know what the Knicks record is when we play on the road. Knicks record at, what's the name of their stadium? Did they just get a new one, though? On the road versus. But this is the playoffs. It's a brand new thing. Yo, what's going on, Michael? He says, let's go Knicks. Yeah, man. Huge W. Oh yeah, Burks had like a couple huge plays at the end. Like he had the big three, and then a play later, heads up play, alley-oop to Obi. I think it would be better if Burks started and Rose came off the bench, but I wouldn't mind. That seems like a Thibs move to start Burks at point guard because he ran in Utah next to Gordon Hayward sometimes. To me, it wouldn't make sense though. I wouldn't start Burks at point guard even though he's capable of playing the position. I honestly, personally, wouldn't do that. Like Derrick Rose is pretty much a starter. I had every excuse in the book for paying because he's a Knick. You want to see him succeed, but at the end of the day, he has no motivation. He's not inspired to play the position. He knows the Knicks fans hate him. He sucked tonight once again, even in the limited action he was out there. Like missing those open shots, taking bad shots. And Payne, we have to realize, though, at the end of the day, he is a human being, but he's not been good on the basketball court. And yes, like I said, like you could say Rose is a spark, but he's not a spark anymore. He's pretty much the starter. Payne plays 4 minutes or like 5 minutes, and then he craps the bench and he's gone. Like Rose is the starter. He should be the starter. I just don't get it anymore. Extra ticket to Game 3 if you want to go. I wish, man. I wish. Flying out to Atlanta now. Wait, whoa, that's awesome for real. Yo, what's going on, by the way? I hope you're doing well. Flying out to Atlanta now. Family got tickets for me. We'll be at the game representing hard. That's awesome, man. Root for the Knicks. Let's go, man. Represent hard. That's what I'm talking about. That's awesome. I hope you have a lot of fun and the Knicks come out victorious. Payne won't be on the roster next season. Like, I wish him the best of luck. I hope he succeeds some more. He seems like a down-to-earth, quiet dude. But, yeah, he just hasn't cut it. But also, I have a question for you guys. This is kind of like not superstitious, but did you guys notice this with Derrick Rose? As much as we love Derrick Rose, he doesn't fit Thibs' like style of play, slow, grinded out brand of basketball. As great as he was today, there were several possessions. He took some bad shots. He pushed the pace when that's not really our brand of basketball. That's probably why Thibs likes Payton. He plays that slow, grinded out brand of basketball. But besides that, Payton's trash. But, yeah, Payne shouldn't play at all for the rest of the playoffs, or he shouldn't even play today. But I'm glad he didn't start him in the second half. I thought that was a very smart move by Tom Thibodeau. I thought it was. And I know Randall didn't play that well, but I thought Randall had some nice key plays as well. He realized some things weren't getting going, and he made some key heads-up plays. Proud of the way the Knicks fought. Still have a lot of things to work on, but you got to be happy with it. Oh, let's see. All right, so I'm looking at the Knicks record, like when they play on the road. Okay, so trying to see here. This is not a good organized website. Burks and Bullock need to shoot more. I felt like they passed on a couple. Yeah, I feel like they're pretty hesitant too, like especially in the first half. It was huge to see Bullock play well in the second half because he's really struggled so far in the series. I actually thought IQ had some solid defensive possessions out there. I thought they did a really solid job on Lou Williams. And Gallinari, I'm going to say this. He might be due to have a big game, though, in Atlanta because he's really struggled shooting the basketball. He really has. Michael says the fact we have won one and barely lost one with Randall playing the way gives me a lot of confidence. It gives you a lot of confidence moving forward, too. If you woke up as Obi Toppin tomorrow, what would you do? Not sure, man. I'd just be happy we came out the W and go to the gym and get to work. No, against the Hawks all time. Nikhil, all time again, because played more games than that. Yo, what's going on, the new Knicks? I hope you're doing well. He says salute. Yo, what's going on, man? You excited? But yeah, they just do a bad job organizing this. Trying to see like old time. Oh wait. Looks like we've won a lot on the road against Atlanta. We've won a lot. I don't know. Wait, let me pull it up here. Because sometimes they scroll like crazy. StreamYard's weird sometimes with it. But I'll read it. What's going on, Devin? I hope you're doing well, man. Great support of the channel. But yeah, I had to go live for you guys. Some people wanted me to go live, and like the people that wanted me to go live aren't here. Yeah, let's see what happens for the rest of the series. The new Knicks headed to Atlanta, actually where I was born. So we'll see. Will we beat the place I was born? Let's see. What else? Look at your Thibs comment. Oh, wait. This was a great comment here by Monjay. I'll get to it, though. Yo, Hoy's in here as well. Monjay said, I've been pleasantly surprised with Obi's defense. I mentioned that. I believe I mentioned that in my recap video. I've too, man. Whatever Thibs has been doing, it's been off the charts. I've been pleasantly surprised with Obi's defense. That was supposed to be his biggest weakness, but he's looked competent on defense. Yo, he hasn't been putting up huge numbers, but he has gotten, like, he looks way more comfortable out there. I've been very happy with Obi. He's played well in the playoffs. I think only Reggie Bullock was the only one that got the memo to not let Trae Young go to his right. And I thought we did a good job, like Taj Gibson fronting Capella outside on the perimeter, not allowing that pick and roll to happen. You guys noticed that? There wasn't a lot of pick and roll action like going on to happen at the end. Because like Taj was like stopping Capella from setting those screens. But yeah, Devin Cruz said, a dream Thibs game is a very low scoring triple overtime like game that ends 103 to 102. You hit it right on the head there. The series will go down as a certified hood classic regardless of the outcome. It's going to be really close. I am 6 foot. Beat the place I was born. Okay, clutch. Very interesting. I think Obi will be solid next year. He's definitely been solid lately. Got to be happy with him. We just want him to be a competent or just solid, whatchamacallit, just solid backup. You think that McMillan sat Trae Young too long? I actually did. When Trae Young came back in the game, like we were still struggling. They were missing open shots. Even though I hope we go in with that same defensive game plan. With guarding Trae Young or how we contained him in like later in the fourth quarter. Like I hope we do that next game. But yeah, I thought he sat Trae way too long. I felt like they could have won if they put Trae in earlier. Yeah, it's possible. Didn't think it was a good coaching job by Nate McMillan. Thibs is the type of guy to play a game on 2K and lower the sliders to 0 for the player in the CPU. Oh, you guys are awesome, man. I just hope you guys know that. I really appreciate all your support. Everyone that's catching this live stream after or right now. He's salty. Let me check his tweet. Let me check it. He's a casual. He doesn't know anything, Max Kellerman. He really is a casual. People, they're like, oh, you're just going to be a second round exit. This is the beginning of a rebuild. Think about this, y'all. We're in the playoffs. We don't have our point guard of the future. Some people question if Bolik's our wing of the future. Noel's not our starting big of the future. That's three positions, three key positions you need moving forward. We don't have them, and we're winning. I think that's pretty impressive to me. But yeah, let me see Max Kellerman, Twitter. Why is it being like my Twitter won't load on here? All right, here we go. Knicks lucky Hawks couldn't throw it in the ocean late in the game. Well, we couldn't throw it in the ocean earlier in the game, so learn to knock down your shots. We couldn't make shots in the first half. We overcame it. So, oh well. And it is Atlanta sports. Do you guys think, I don't know, are they cursed? Like, is Atlanta sports cursed? We'll see this series. Yo, Carl's in the house. Yo, I have to catch up on some of these. I like to make sure I read everyone's comments. Yeah, I'm sorry if I miss anyone's comments. I try to read everyone's. Do you want me to make a sign to bring to the that would be awesome if you want to, man. If you want to. Thank Fibs for benching Payne. Shout out. Yo, from Panama. That's awesome. I hope all is well and you're staying safe. How's the weather there in Panama? That's awesome. I appreciate you being here. Juan J said, I'd like to see the Knicks get their money's worth when fouling Trae Young. He's always stopping short to draw contact. I think if they really ran into him, he'd think twice about doing it, just like back in the day. No one wanted to go to the basket because the Knicks were just so aggressive when it came to their fouling. Can't really get away with that in today's NBA, like clotheslining someone, but definitely be physical. Make them like earn the free throws in a way of like, I don't want these soft types of fouls. I definitely know what you mean. Be more aggressive. Yo, Rayvon Rogers, thank you so much for being here. Hopefully I pronounced that right. How are you doing, man? Carl says, Yo, Noah, what's good, kid? What's up, man? I hope you're doing well. He says, Can we talk about the OGs who stepped up? I actually talked about him in my recap video, but I'll talk about him again. Obviously, Rose was absolutely amazing. I did have some issues with him in the first half. Of course, he was amazing when it mattered most. Ended up finishing with 26 points. Some people could say there wasn't much ball movement. He was playing kind of fast at some points in the game because we're the slow, grinded out style of play that were kind of helping the Hawks. But obviously, Derrick Rose, key buckets, just a beast. We traded Dennis Smith Jr. in a second round pick for Derrick Rose, amazing. But Taj Gibson, I absolutely love what Taj Gibson did in this game. Like, making sure Capella didn't set those screens, really fronting him, crashing the glass. It really sucks that Gibson's 35 years old. I wish he was younger because I would want him to be a Knick like forever. I love Taj Gibson. Um, and he said, yeah, Burks, he played really well later. And Bullock, yeah, Bullock didn't play well in the first half, but he had big shots. Yeah, you hit it right on the head. I love what the OGs did for sure. The bench, I even thought Obi played well. Max, oh my God, be any more salty. Yeah, it's just what he is. Imagine if we would have lost. So many Hawks fans and media would be clown. Oh, gosh. Well, we won. We won, Fanny. So that's all that matters. Even if we lost this series, we're still moving in the right direction, guys. Bench carried us. I'm happy that Burks came in for RJ. Yeah, I think that was definitely RJ's young was put in the experienced player that has gone to the playoffs, like he did with the Sixers, like he did with the Utah Jazz. Although Bullock was hot, I felt as if RJ should have been utilized down the stretch to guard Bogdanovich. I agree. We were lucky they missed a lot of open shots. They missed a lot of open shots, but we were missing a lot of shots in the first half. Um, Trey said you'll see when that. He is so cocky, man. He is so cocky. Wow. Trey's a great player, but he needs to learn how to shut his mouth. He talks like after that game one, he's been talking like he just won an NBA championship. I love Trey Young. I'm starting to not like him as much now. Like he seemed like a humble down to earth guy. He's not anymore. But hopefully we end up on the good side because Atlanta sports loves choking. We'll see what happens. Um Hopefully this wakes us up. Yeah, I hope it wakes Randall up too. He started to play a little better in the second half. What's going on, Eric? Atlanta sports must be hard. Yeah, it's worse than New York sports, guys. Like, we could only be Atlanta sports fans. What's going on, Bradley? He says, let's go Knicks. Yeah, great W. Basketball has gotten so soft it's actually sad. Yeah, I wish I got to watch it back in the day. Like the Ewing, Anthony Mason days, Oakley days. My dad would always tell me about those days. Derrick Rose makes me smile every time he does a post-game interview. Such a likable guy, isn't he? He's such a likable guy. Trey Young would have been glorified Steve Kerr. Trey Young wouldn't be playing back then. Hawks are scared of Obi low-key. They don't want to be put on a poster. Obi's been playing very solid. He really has, and I'm proud of him. I don't know if you guys have noticed this lately when it comes to his three-point shots, or at least I noticed this game one. He has a wider base now. Like when you have a wider base and they're aligned to the basket, because like you could be knocked over so easy or there's not much of a balance when your feet are close together. But his mechanics look so much better. Like I know he's developed at a slower pace than we wanted him to, but he's getting better every single day. And it doesn't help when you're playing not a lot of minutes. Um, Yo, what's going on? Joshua Craig's in the house. Thank you so much for being here. Great supporter of the channel. I appreciate all the love. You guys are all amazing. Just thank you so much. And for you to further your support and become a member, I really greatly appreciate it. But nice win. Great win. We had to win this. Crucial W. Crucial game. But yeah, how you doing, Josh? I hope you're doing well. My mind is in the clouds. Cannoli heaven. Why is Julius playing so bad? Whatever adjustments the Hawks have made, you have to keep in mind. What was the number one focus the Atlanta Hawks had? Really containing Julius Randle. Thought Randle played better in the second half. I don't think it's nerves. I really think he's just not making his shots. And I actually think the Hawks have been solid on him defensively, but he does have to calm down. Sometimes he's kind of erratic. He has to trust his teammates, and he looked better when he trusted his teammates in the second half. Randall will be fine. I think this third game is really going to speak volume for the rest of the series. Who has mad confidence? Let's talk. Oh, Trey Young, yeah. You saw how they did Russell dirty. Philly fans very classy. Oh, yeah. God, no surprise there. Poor first half, but I'll say, yeah, I agree. Terrible first half. But I'll say Noel, Taj, and Randall kept the paint so clean defensively and got such important boards. Yep. Amazing work for them, but MVP was the crowd. Yeah, MVP was absolutely amazing. I know we're going to Atlanta on the road, but Knicks fans travel pretty damn well. And yeah, I was really proud of us defensively. Key stat, I believe we kept, even though Capella crashed the glass well, we kept him to 4 points, or we held him to 4 points. That's crazy. There's a reason he wasn't an all-star. The players hate him. And Randall was amazing. It was Randall, Sabonis, or like Trey that was going to make it. Let Taj Gibson give him a quick left hook and guarantee. No, we need him out there. That seems like something Taj would do, though. LOL, Philly fans are obnoxious even when they're winning. We were pretty obnoxious tonight, but it is what it is. I almost broke my TV because of the first. Dude, I thought whenever you think the game's done, the Knicks always prove you wrong with their heart. They just continuously come back. They always battle. It's crazy. But I don't blame you. It was definitely a scary first half. Hey, Team Clutch, I think we should attack Trey more on the defensive end. He can't guard anyone, and it'll wear him out. I agree, dude. And I thought, what was the most frustrating play? Like for me, I'll tell you the two most frustrating plays when it came to actually, yeah, let's cover that real quick. Yeah, you can't guard anyone. Not a good defensive player. We need to try to get RJ on RJ switches like him like scoring on Trey Young or like Julius Randle, something like that in the post. We'll need a lot of screens for that, which I think we should do. But yeah, Trey Young's not great defensively. And like I said, what did I say in my preview videos? What did I say or a preview video in my adjustment videos? Double teaming Trey Young. It may hurt us in some ways of leaving guys open outside on the perimeter. Yes, they could hit their shots outside open on the perimeter. But would you rather have like 50-50 chance of making a three-pointer or an easy guaranteed layup every time? You got to make Trey Young feel uncomfortable. And what did we do down the stretch? We did that. We stopped the pick and roll. We double teamed him. That one play, I'm getting to the play that pissed me off. The great defensive play, building momentum. That was a foul, not a jump ball. Are you serious? Are you freaking serious? Another play that pissed me off was a selfish play by Bullock when we were coming back, and then he had the stupid foul, flagrant foul. That was stupid by Reggie Bullock, but we won. Obi also is driving very hard. He has been very aggressive. Randall's been very nervous this series until the last quarter today. Hopefully, the fourth quarter play from today translates into. We don't play tomorrow, but yeah, we don't play tomorrow, do we? Is it tomorrow? Friday. We play next on Friday. Next game. Okay, I got you. All right, hit the like button, clutch team. I really appreciate that, Carl. I really do. Yeah, I appreciate all you guys being here, tuning in with me, talking about this game. It's always a lot of fun. I like Trey, but he's a fake tough guy. Um, Not gonna lie, when it was 67-55, I thought it was over. Not gonna lie, me too. I knew they were gonna compete and fight back, but the way we're playing, oh my gosh, no. Defense did that was some old school great defense. Taj Gibson reminds me of like an old Knicks player. Like I feel like Taj Gibson's someone that could have played back in the day. I really think Taj could have played back in the day. Defense came up big in the second half. Yeah, fantastic. Go Knicks for sure. To be honest, I said at one point during this game that we were gonna get swept this series. The way we're playing in the first half, I don't blame that statement. But the Knicks' heart and how much they just want to win, and this team never gives up. That's what makes this team so likable. They don't have the best of talent. There's three guys in the starting lineup that may not be here for the next 5 years. Like at least as starters. Alfred Payne, Reggie Bullock, and Noel. And we're still winning. Like, it's crazy. Huge win, Cooper. What's going on, my man? Yeah, Russ. Of course, I would be pissed off too. Bro, you know what's the problem? When the NYC mayor says something about the calls, I really thought that was going to jinx everything and we're going to lose. Thank God. Yo, what's going on, Avery? He says tied 1-1. Yes, sir, man. I did not do the NBA bracket challenge. I did do my, when I was live streaming, I believe it was the Clippers Mavericks game because someone asked me to do it, but I wasn't able to do it in time because some people came over. So I wasn't able to film the video, but in the live stream, I did do my playoff predictions. Noah, who do you think wins in a fight, Trey or Knox, the two softest players in the NBA? The air wins. You know why the air wins in a fight between Trey and Knox? Because they're not gonna be able to punch each other, or the air wins. They're just gonna be able to punch the air. That's it, because they're not gonna be able to hit each other. F. Trey Young, yes sir. Definitely a cocky bastard. He's gonna be someone we hate playing for years and years. Kenne's a damn point guard and F that dude up. Trey is holding. Yeah. I heard they were chanting that. I was actually live streaming on Big Blue in the Bronx channel. Make sure you check him out. A lot of fun. Yeah, I heard they were chanting that. Defense was amazing. It was, dude. It was. I love what I saw defensively out there. Yeah, hopefully it carries into game 3. Julius did start to get things going, started to trust his teammates. He looked less lost out there. Julius will be okay. He's going to put in the work. Just imagine if Randall gets going, we can have a gentleman's sweep. And don't forget quickly, don't get me excited, my man. Don't get me that excited. Come on, my man. If Randall gets going, that would be, because we know they couldn't stop him in the regular season. Yeah, don't get me excited, my man. Congratulations, you poked the bear. You lost yourselves game 1. Yeah, you don't poke. New Yorkers, they don't back down. We don't talk about Max Kellerman. Trey fired up game 3. Going to be special at the A. He was fired up this game, but did he step up? Nope, that defense got after him. Bro, if Randall plays the same this regular season, this shouldn't be that hard. They're still a really, really good team, though. They are. Yo, Braypan's in the chat. I appreciate you being here. He says, "What's good? What's up, man? I appreciate you being a great supporter of the channel. Had to go live for you guys after uploading the recap video. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for furthering your support and becoming a member. I always greatly appreciate it. You guys are amazing." Um, yeah, lightning crazy. Derrick Rose is our clutchest player. Definitely is. Him and Burks. Thought Bullock hit. You guys hear that? You guys hear that thunder? I don't know if you guys heard that thunder. D Rose was huge. Well, he kept it real with Trae Young, and what he said in the interview. Thank you, Cowboy X Factor. We appreciate that. What's going on, my man? His Mavericks are up 2-0. That's insane. His Mavericks are up 2-0. Yeah, that's the crazy thing about this Knicks team. We have our coach. You could say we have like two future cornerstones, but we're competing in the playoffs, and there's three players in our starting lineup that aren't going to be here like 10 years down the road or like for the future. Payne's not our point guard of the future. He may not even start next game. Derrick Rose started in the second half. Noel, he might be a bench piece. Bullock, he might be too inconsistent for some people. Yeah, I still think it's going to be a very close series. No games are so close and competitive. I want to be surprised at a game 7 or if a team wins 3 straight. Yep. Yo, GG, man. Sub up Michael, the Hawks fan. He's a Hawks fan, but he's a really good sport. He's very humble. Make sure you check his channel out for sure. Those 3 wide open. Yeah, Hunter missed some wide open shots. He really did. Same thing with Bogdanovich. He was ice cold in the second half. Let me look up Bogdanovich's stats. Yeah, he was 8. Guys, listen to this. He had 18 points. That sounds good, right? He had 2 blocks. But he was 8 for 21 from the field. He was 2 of 13 from 3. We know that's not going to continue, but 2 of 13 from downtown. Jeez. Yeah, there was an article apparently that came out how he's already a top 5 Knicks villain of all time after one playoff game. But yeah, Carl, I agree. Do you think we could take a game on the road and even the series out? Or like take the lead in the series? It's possible. We'll see how Randall plays. There's a lot of things that go into it, man. We're gonna need both. We have to start strong. It depends if Derrick Rose starts. A lot goes into it, my man. If Randall averages 25 or more on good shooting, we can win both games in Atlanta. If that happens, we better win. Praying for Kawhi to New York, rooting for Mavericks on that series. Knowing our luck, he'll go to like Miami. I feel like that won't even be like a good match. Thibs would definitely have to change his style of resting a player. But of course, I freaking love Kawhi. People on Twitter are already saying the Knicks should get rid of RJ. He barely played. People like that don't know basketball. RJ was one of the most impactful players out there. One of the reasons we went on a run at one point. He didn't play because he's young in the fourth quarter. You roll with the experience. You roll with the guys that like have been there before. So he rolled with Bullock and Burks. Anyone that's saying that like RJ played bad is stupid. Or like we should trade him. He is 20 years old. He's freaking 20. And he didn't even play that bad tonight. Gosh, Knicks fans are stupid. Gosh, I can't stand our fans sometimes. Yeah, GG, Michael. Like, I like your fans, but I also hate our fans. Like, our fans can be the most retarded fans, but our fans, like, have no in between. They're either the smartest fans in the world or the dumbest fans in the world. Holy shit. I just don't get people that said RJ played bad. Barely played in the fourth quarter. He's young. I didn't think he played bad. I know Hunter's getting killed by Hawks fans right now. Yeah, I bet. Bogdanovich, too. Yeah, he does need to go in general. I agree with you. Let's talk. I'm sorry about the loss tonight, man. People were saying Zion was a bust because of injuries. Zion's a beast. I love Zion. Down to earth guy, too. Like, he's such a likable guy. Like, he's so likable. We can make winning a lot easier if Randall can gain some confidence and make some shots. Luckily, it looks like he gained some confidence in the second half. Let's go, man. After a Young Karen says, surprised we actually out-rebounded pretty well considering they had Capella. Yeah, he still had like 14 rebounds, but he only had like 4 or 6 points. If you didn't know, last game we actually out-rebounded them too, but we didn't execute on like every side of the ball. Thought RJ played some good defense for sure. Yeah, I didn't think RJ forced anything. I think that was the key thing. I thought RJ. Do you guys think he forced anything? I don't. Yeah, that's the thing I think that's holding back Thibs. He's having sympathy for Rose because he's at the stage of his career. Should we start him? Can we give him starting minutes? I agree with you 100%. But if we're gonna do that, I would have Burks as like the backup point guard. Like we've seen that some of this time this season. We just can't go on scoring droughts with Frank at point guard. Drew says, to be honest, I think everyone thinks RJ should be Jason Tatum. Yeah, they're stupid. Jason Tatum's one of the best players in the league. Either Knicks, Celtics, or Lakers. Our fans are at least top three best. We're definitely one of the most passionate fan bases. I actually did see that Bray Pan. That was pretty funny, right? Didn't like it in a way because I was like, is that going to motivate him? Yo, Karam, what's going on, my man? I hope you're doing well. The Clippers slander will ever stop. He'll never stop bashing the Clippers. I only think of one drive where he forced a layup, but Taj cleaned the glass. He's young. He's smart. He has the work ethic. He doesn't even have to be a superstar. He can just be a very solid player, just a good player. I don't know if he'll ever make several All-Star teams because, like, RJ's a good player, but he may be someone that doesn't make All-Star teams. You know why? He doesn't have the flashiest of style of play. He's not flashy. He gets the job done, and I think that's what RJ's gonna be in his career. As Knicks fans, we'll always look at the importance of what he brings. Do I care about All-Star games? Hell no. I care about if you freaking win games for us, if you step up when it matters most. I'll go live for like 5 more minutes. I appreciate you guys doing it. But yeah, devastating buckets. I don't know if I said what's up to you, but what's going on? Awesome, dude. I love reading his tweets. I have his Twitter notifications on all the time. Or they're on. Thank God we won. Oh gosh, I get to sleep now. Carl says, "Did you see Obi's mom crying while he was shining as a dad? I can't front." Yeah, that's awesome. That's like a true. I'm not gonna say everyone expresses their emotions differently. Some are criers, some aren't. But I would be proud as shit too if I had a son and like he was balling out, or if I even had like a daughter. Like I would be like so excited for him or her. Like because obviously a part of being a parent, you have to support your kids no matter what they do. And he says, as a dad, I can't front. I teared up. I don't blame you at all. That is awesome. That is freaking awesome. Just seeing them work their ass off and just like I know he went through some adversity too. I think he like lost his brother earlier in his life. He's definitely a likable. He's a likable kid, or he's a likable guy. Can't call him a kid. He's 23. RJ's play translates more into wins than John Morant. Don't at me. I think John Morant's still a beast though. It's been amazing. I think Jaw is better than Zion so far because he has found more success than Zion with a weaker team. You, what other games are there tonight? I know the Sixers played. I think John Moran is better than Zion so far because he's found more success than Zion with a weaker team. Does he have a weaker team? All right, Pelicans. Steven Adams. They have Lonzo, Brandon Ingram. They're definitely not the better coach team. The Grizzlies have the better coach, but Dylan Brooks is pretty damn good. Valanciunas is good. Jaren Jackson Jr. is a beast. I'm trying to think of their overall team. I like Desmond Bane coming off the bench. I don't know. I like their pieces. Zion's definitely not the problem, though. I want fried chicken, Drew. Oh my gosh, that sounds good. Fried chicken? Knicks fans, I'm gonna make sure that you guys aren't disappointed. Jaren Jackson Jr., the dude was drafted in 2018. The Knicks ain't giving, or the Grizzlies ain't giving up on him after freaking, like, yeah, he got hurt, but what is it, his third year in the league? They're paying him, they're bringing him. I just don't see that. I would love Jaren Jackson Jr., but is that realistic? No. I don't read that much into it. Yo, Heartstorm Media's in chat. He says, "What's good, bro? Can I join the chat?" Yo, for sure, man. Let me pull this off because for some reason there's always an echo when it's like on my ring light. Yeah, of course you could join, man. Let me drop this link. Oh, there goes the phone. There goes the phone. Let me see if I can pull up the link for you. Hopefully I'm logged in on my laptop so I can drop the link. But I can always like change the tab. I might have to do that. All right. How do I share this again? Oh, guest, invite a guest, copied it. How do I type? I can't type on the chat on here. Gosh. Hold up. Is there a way? Hold up, guys. If you don't see me for a second, it's because I'm dropping the link. If I'm going to be able to. Hopefully you guys see me. Damn, I don't. I'm trying to think. Copy the link, then go to the comments. Then put it. There's no chat on like the StreamYard though. Is there a way I could? Wait, is there a way you could type out this? Yo, is there a way you could type this out like on your phone and then join? And then click on it. Oh no, like I'm copy and pasting it, but like I copy it, but there's no chat. I don't know why. Unless I'm very, because it says guests, invite a guest. Meals on show. Yeah, I'm having a mental freeze. I'm actually not that good with technology for someone that's 17. Kind of seem like an old head right now. But yeah, of course I'll talk to my man Heartstorm Media. He's awesome. Hey, Team Clutch, you'll see that the Clippers might get eliminated. Should we go after? Of course, we should go after Leonard. Will he come here, though? That's the main thing. Will he want to come here? He has to get frustrated with Paul George over there. He has to. But yeah, of course, I would go after Kawhi. If we strike out on Kawhi, I'm not overpaying for some like solid player. Man, I'm so glad we traded for Rose. Yeah, we gave up nothing too. Rose has been amazing. Yeah, their defense, I don't get how it's been bad. Ugh. Tyronn Lue's not a good coach either. Like, it's crazy. I'm happy the Bucks are up 2-0 against the Heat. I live in South Florida. LOL, Heat fans are delusional. I actually had a lot of faith in the Heat. Like, I thought they were gonna win, but Bucks look legit for sure. We got them. That's a little generous. We got more than chips. Chips are delicious. But yeah, I'm not sure if Heartstormy is joining. But yeah, that was definitely a steal. Oh wait, I think he's in here. All right, I'll wait till he's ready because I don't want to just invite him on and he doesn't know. All right, all right.
What's going on, man? What's going on, young man? I know you're super psyched.
Yo, what's up, man? How you doing?
About this win, man. I was just chatting with some other Knicks fans on the Man, It's the Knicks show. I didn't even go live after the game because I was like, after a win like this, so many other people that I actually like watching. I knew you guys were gonna be live, so I said I'm gonna go check out Man, It's the Knicks. Then I was gonna go check out Noah at Clutch B-Ball, man. So I know anybody who's on right now has already hit the like button. So if you haven't, definitely smash the like button for your boy. I missed a lot. So first, give me a quick recap of your thoughts of some stuff that I missed that you might want to fill me in.
So to keep it real with you, at the beginning of this game, all right, it looked like we were gonna go off to it, like we're off to a nice start. Like RJ Bear early at like 6 points, but that's where everything went downhill. After that, we couldn't hit a shot to save our lives. Randall airballing shots. This man was just like everyone was so hesitant with the basketball. It just seemed like we had urgency, but there was just no consistent ball movement. Alfred Payne. What can I say? He can't even score in Trae Young. He's never going to score basketball again in his life.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I will say this to interject really quick. When I seen Alfred Payne, well, I heard before the game he was going to be starting. When I seen him starting, I'm like, oh, man. But I do like the aggressiveness he came out with. It was definitely like you could tell a coach coached him up. He was aggressive the first couple of times he had the ball. He actually drove to the basket, like got a shot block, drove to the basket again, missed a shot, went to the free throw line. He was more aggressive in the first 2 or 3 minutes. And I think Tibbs told him, hey, you got to show me something, be aggressive, drive the ball, force the defense to do something with you. And if he would have, I guess it's thankful for us that he didn't hit any of those first shots. Because if he would have hit some of those first shots, he would have been in the game longer. And he probably would have been coming back in that second half. But because he started off ice cold, Tibbs couldn't justify bringing him back, especially with Derrick Rose playing the way he was playing. And with Burks coming off the game he had prior. So you like, man, if I got Derrick Rose playing like this, if Burks giving me half of what he was doing last game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so go ahead, continue.
So yeah, Bullock, because obviously did not play well last game. He was like he played good defense, but like both of these guys obviously weren't good offensively. So we weren't hitting shots. Like we went in a scoring drought, which is never good against this Hawks team. You can't allow that at all. Trae Young, I would say he had like a decent first quarter. It was pretty much DeAndre Hunter. He was hitting a lot of threes.
It was Hunter.
The defense was all focused on Trae Young, so we're kind of leaving guys open on the perimeter. Bogdanovich had like a solid first quarter, but after that, he was just like he couldn't hit a shot to save his life. Like the end of the game, he shot 2 of 13 from three. Like he was really bad. He wasn't
Yeah.
hitting anything at all. So the bench came into the game because I don't know if Derrick Rose is technically a bench piece because Alfred
Yeah.
Payne's like does he count as a starter anymore?
Mm.
So Rose came in. He was scoring the ball, but he wasn't like also he wasn't smart with the ball because you know our style of play, like we play a slow grinded out
Mhm.
style of play. Like we just weren't patient. It was like we just weren't taking smart shots like at all. Like he was scoring the ball, but it was like he was pushing the pace, which led to not getting back on defense. The Hawks getting buckets for sure. I actually thought Obi Toppin played very well once again when he was out there. We started to rebound the ball better when Taj was out there as well. Um, but it just seemed like there was just so much that went on in this game that it's so hard to put into words of like what the heck was that.
Yeah.
Um, I wouldn't even say it was like second. It's so hard to explain, but their bench wasn't great. The Hawks, like Kevin Herter, wasn't doing much, but whenever he would miss a shot, he would get a like second chance opportunity like one time. But it's hard to explain. There's so much that went on in this game. To be honest with you.
Yeah, it was definitely multi-layered, and what we couldn't do well and what they were doing well. DeAndre Hunter was unsung hero for them early. You know, uncharacteristic, hit a couple of threes, got to the free throw line. We'll say definitely got to applaud the effort and how we've been defending, even though it seems like Trae Young is cooking us, right?
Yeah.
We have been able to defend him without fouling him. He only
Yeah.
shot 4 free throws this game. Now, remember last game, he didn't shoot any free throws until the fourth quarter, but then he shot 9.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, something could be said about the way they were able to defend him without fouling. Now, mind you, they were kind of just not really putting a lot of pressure on him, and they weren't being physical enough with him. And maybe they just didn't want to get themselves in that quick. They didn't want to get the refs used to blowing the whistle in Trey's favor. I think that's part of the mindset. But I was like, wow, you got a guy that leads the league in free throw attempts, and
Mm-hmm.
he hasn't shot any free throws. That you got to look at the defense and give them a little bit of credit and a little bit of kudos for that. Bogey was hot early, but then again, I think we stole this game the same way they stole the game from us last game.
Yeah.
Bogey got ice cold. Gallo was ice cold throughout the whole game. And Nate McMillan left Trae Young on the bench way too long from the time we were making our run till we got up by 10. But in the same token, as soon as Trae Young came back in the game, they completely cut the lead. And I remember watching it, and when Spike was on the sideline dancing, we were up by 10.
Yeah.
After Obi's dunk and all stuff like that, Spike is dancing. I said, listen,
And
let's
then,
not get too high because Trey's on the bench.
mm-hmm.
And he immediately came in the bench. They cut the lead to 6. Then they cut the lead to 5. The next thing you know, it's tied up again. And I was like, I didn't get too high up on a 10-point lead with Trae Young being on the bench because they were just discombobulated. They got some clean open looks. They just couldn't hit them. And Kevin Herter was the main ball handler for them at that time because Lou Will wasn't running like point for them. It was weird. They like had Kevin Herter at the top of the key with the ball in his hands a lot. We forced some really ugly turnovers for them. Some balls sailed out of bounds and some passes, but they did get some clean looks that they just missed. And, I would say this before I pass it back to you. Another thing we got to look at as a team, we have been able to neutralize John Collins. Remember when people wanted us to make a trade for John Collins? Remember when it was like, if we could get John Collins for Julius Randle, we'll take that. No. John Collins is the type of player who doesn't assert himself, and I don't think his game will get to the point where he'll assert himself as being a number 1 or number 2 option. He's always going to have to play off of other people. He kind of plays the rim runner role, but just shorter. Like he plays like a rim runner center, just shorter, and he can hit the 3. But the man played 15 minutes. He was 0 for 2, and he wasn't injured.
Yeah, he was in. I remember he was. You said you missed like the beginning of the game, right?
No, I was the game.
Okay, so like he was in foul trouble like really early in that game. I think he picked up like 3 or 4 fouls, and he came back in the game. Yeah, he didn't do like much at all. He kind of is like even though Obi, I actually thought Obi played solid
Obi
defense.
played amazing.
I thought Obi played really well, but they're kind of similar in a way offensively that they need specific personnel around them. That's
Yeah.
why it got me so excited when like Burks hit that three at the end, like towards the end of the game, and then he like threw it up to Obi Toppin. I think it was like a couple possessions in a row, like we gotta stop. But
Yeah.
let's talk about Taj Gibson. I thought Gibson was amazing, and it breaks my heart. Also, shout out to Stephen Fox. How you doing, man? It sucks that he's 35 years old because if he was younger, I would want him to be like a Nick for the longest because he does so many things that don't show up on the stat sheet. Like he was making sure Capella wasn't setting those screens. Like that was one of the main things I was talking about. Like in the preview video, make Trae Young feel uncomfortable. Like he's only 6'1". You got to be physical with this guy. There was one play that really pissed me off when it was clearly a jump ball and they called
the trap. The trap. I was just talking about that man. Listen, I will talk about that after we talk about Taj.
yeah.
So I'll say this: if Taj Gibson was 2 or 3 inches taller, he'd be Tyson Chandler.
I love Taj.
Taj Gibson is undersized, and we talk about it, undersized and overaged, but he's getting offensive rebounds in there against Hunter, Capella, who's the best rebounder in the game this year in the league. We've also neutralized Clint Capella. Clint Capella had another game where he was non-existent. Yeah, 4 points. Yeah, he probably had 12 boards, and he did have about 3 offensive boards. He did, but we neutralized him. He's not doing any. He caught 1 lob.
Mm-hmm.
He's not doing any rim running. Taj has a way of positioning his body and getting into the right position to get these offensive rebounds. He got us a couple of big possessions late in the game. And I mean, he was a plus minus 23. He led our team in plus minus. Yeah, he led. He was the next closest was D Rose at 14. He was a plus minus 23. That's great. But the eye test showed it to you. I saw it. I'm like, man, when Taj was in the game for both of our major runs, the run that got us back in the game, he was all 3 of them. The run that got us back in the game, the run that gave us the lead, and then when we lost the lead, the run that gave us back the lead.
Dude, how about let's talk about this? This really, really pissed me off because I was actually live with Big Blue in the Bronx. Shout out to them. Like we're doing the Knicks game, like reaction to it.
Shout out to Drew for that comment.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Gallo's trying to be in the next Mad Max movie. I don't know what. Maybe that's his playoff here. He don't want to. I don't. I'm dying laughing off that.
I love Gallinari as a Nick, but
I love him, man. I still hate that Gallinari didn't get to play with the Knicks for years he should have. But
the first run, because I was like, I had the thing in the back of my head, because like a lot of Knicks fans overreacting, like we're gonna get freaking swept. But I don't blame them in a way. We were pathetic. Like we were undisciplined. Like we didn't look like a proper NBA team. I'm like, is Thibs coaching this team? It looks like Fizdale's coaching this team right now. But in the back of my head, I was like, whenever I doubt this team comes back. So I was like, we don't deserve to lose this game the way we're playing. And I love the move that I believe we started Taj and Derrick Rose in the second half. That might actually be a hint at Derrick Rose might start. I'm not going to get my hopes up because you never know with Thibs. But we were starting to go on that run, right? And I was like, okay, we're going to get back in this game. But this is when I thought it was going to go downhill. Bullock made the most selfish play ever by that flagrant foul on DeAndre Hunter. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, that pissed me off so much and obviously made the free throws, but luckily they missed the shot on that possession. But I just thought, like, all the momentum we created, I was like, okay, well, that was all.
I will say the thing about that foul was, and I will go into the trap jump ball that was called the foul.
Gosh.
With the momentum of the players, when you're trying to run up to get ahead of a guy so it's not a clear path foul, and hey, this is playoff basketball. Up until then, they had they were letting them play kind of physical. I didn't see that. That was definitely not a clear-cut flagrant. Even the announcers who were calling the game was like, I see why they're reviewing it as a flagrant to see if it's extra, emphasis on the end of the play, but that just wasn't a flagrant foul. Yeah. So I get it. It was a bad play. The foul it was right to make the foul, but I mean, it's playoff basketball. And it's not even like he knocked DeAndre Hunter into the stands. You know what I mean? It was just such a ticky-tack foul.
We also have to realize, though, NBA has changed. It's soft. Like, Anthony Davis just got a flagrant for kicking someone in the nuts. Like, when he shoots basketball.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? But I don't know. We just learned, like, time after time. Like, we knew this team has heart, but it's crazy. Like, we've proved this in the playoffs, too. Like, I'm sold. Like, this team's going to fight back, like, no matter what. The Spurs game, when we had a chance to clinch the playoffs. I don't know if it was the 4th seed. Oh, yeah, the Celtics game was the 4th seed. But I don't know. This team fights back no matter what. And I want to ask, like, what are your thoughts on RJ? Some Knicks fans, I really like. I think we have the smartest fans in the world, but there's some of the dumbest fans in the world when it comes to Knicks fans saying trade RJ.
Nah.
What's it? RJ wasn't even bad in my opinion. I thought like he was one of the main reasons we kind of built some momentum in this game. And I like the move by Thibs. I love RJ, even though I kind of would have liked to see him later in the game. You've run with the experienced players that have been in the playoffs, but I didn't think RJ played that bad. I didn't think he maybe forced one shot, but I actually thought he played.
What I saw from RJ, he was hesitant, but I'm gonna tell you what people didn't realize because they don't get a chance to see the Hawks. They're not watching the Hawks a lot. First, yeah, RJ he hit that first three, but then he was cold from three. Yeah. He took like one. I'm not even gonna call it a bad shot. It's just a shot he's only really developed in the third quarter of the season of basically, off the dribble pull up three. He hasn't shown that that's his game. He's hit a couple of them throughout the season. He hasn't shown that that's like his game. So every time we see him take a three off the dribble, we're like, yo, what are you doing? You know what I mean? We don't envision him being a Bradley Beal type wing where he can be shooting pull up threes on somebody. So when we see him do it, it is like nails on a chalkboard. But one thing people have forgotten because, again, they haven't really seen much of the Hawks, and because DeAndre Hunter has missed most of the season, DeAndre Hunter is a really good defender.
He's underrated.
He's a really good defender, and he was defending RJ. So most of the game. So he really just played good defense and stayed in front of RJ. RJ didn't force a lot of shots. He tried to make moves to the basket. When the moves weren't there, he stopped. He kicked it back out. Now, sometimes that forces in the other bad shots because RJ's catching the ball with 10 seconds left. He's pounding the ball into the ground for about 4 or 5 seconds. He goes to make his move. He hits the wall. He doesn't have space for a Euro step because Clint Capella did a really good job of sliding over in those help defensive sequences. So now the guy's got to kick it out. So RJ had an okay game. He got some boards. He wasn't detrimental to the team. He only turned the ball over like once. He missed a couple of shots that would have sent the Garden crazy. He just missed a couple of those shots. But I think RJ has continued to be solid. Yeah. Not overwhelming, not like great. He's been solid. And long as he doesn't have a stinker. Now, the first game was kind of like a stinker because he went like 1 for 5 or 1 for 6 from 3.
Yeah.
He hits one more of those threes. We're not even looking at the game to say if him or Reggie Bullock hits one of those threes in game 1, we probably win that game. They were like Reggie Bullock was like 1 for. I think Reggie Bullock was like an 0 for. He may have hit 1 3.
Oh, in game 1,
in game 1.
I think he was 0 for.
If he hits one of those threes, the whole complexity of the game is different because, like I said on the last live stream I was on, if you take Julius Randle having a bad game that he had, part of him having such a bad game was his 2 wingmen couldn't hit a 3. So Reggie Bullock is his number 1 wingman, literally number 1 wingman. That's the guy he kicks it out to on the elbow or on the corner 3 when he's doubled or trapped, or he forces a double team and wants to swing it to somebody. RJ is his number 2 wingman, literally. He's the other guy who he looks to either at the top of the key or the other elbow or the cross-court pass when he gets doubled or when he doesn't have it going. Neither one of those guys can hit a 3. So now for an analogy's sake, it's like this. If me and you go out to the club, right, and we go out one more person, say we got Drew Licata with us, right? So if me, you, and Drew Licata, we're at the club, right? You're my wingman, right? So now I'm trying to score chicks, but I'm striking out. So then I need one of you guys to go score a chick and then bring me to the table and say, hey, man, come on over. She's got a couple of friends. So now if you're striking out and then Drew's striking out, we're leaving home. We're going home, and it's just going to be us three together because none of us could score a chick. So that's what was happening in the game. Julius wasn't hitting, so he wasn't scoring. Then he's looking for Reggie Bullock, his wingman, to go get some chicks for, and he can't get a chick. And then he's looking for RJ to go get a chick, and he can't get a chick. Well, excuse me, women, if you're watching this. He can't get a female companion. So now they're just sitting around each other after the club's closed playing dominoes or something. So that is what happened in game one. It was big difference in this game because Julius was struggling, but you seen once Reggie Bullock hit those first couple of threes in that third quarter, that's when Julius started taking off.
Yeah. Drew says God pronouncing my name correctly just gave me a big smile. Oh, I guess a lot pronounces I guess a lot of people pronounce the name wrong. But I thought someone we actually did a good job on. I believe it was Obi that had a really good defensive possession where there was like a switch. I forgot what happened. Was we did a good job on Lou Williams. Because that's
yeah.
I was kind of scared with. Like, we forced him into, like, I think RJ and Obi both had a plan, and, like, we forced him on, like, an unbalanced two.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. Did Obi get a piece of one? I don't remember.
Oh, we got a piece of one. That's what led to that big dunk.
Oh, yeah, then Burks got it through the alley-oop. Yeah, Obi's just been, like, yes, he's kind of had the development that not a lot of people have liked. Like, he's slowly developing. But what else are you going to do in, like, 9 to 10 minutes? I feel like how many minutes did he play?
He probably played 11. He probably played 12 this game. It felt like he was on the court
12.
longer because I was surprised. I actually was pleasantly surprised that Tibbs left Julius on the bench for a couple of minutes longer, and you could feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Obi was in that game a little bit longer, and then when Julius came back in, they were in the game together for about 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It was about 2 solid minutes. They were both on the court together. I don't remember what led to that because I was like, wait, are we going small? I think we were small until like the next stoppage of play. But Toppin, I don't know if he got a foul or something like that. Like after something happened, and I just knew like, okay, Julius is coming back in the game, but they were both on the court at the same time. And then Toppin went out on the next possession, or next stoppage.
Yeah. What are your thoughts been on like Noel lately? I just feel like this is just such a bad matchup for him. Like versus Clint Capella. I still love Noel, but I'm just such a huge like Taj fan because like for you like I don't think people really take a look at like what he's done lately in his career of like this man played power forward his whole career. Like with the Timberwolves, with the Bulls, like the 1 year with the Thunder. And for him to be like, you know what, I'll play center for the Knicks, even with Fizdale. Who the hell listens to Fizdale?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's because he's so disciplined. He's played so many years in the league. He's so experienced. Like, he's been in the playoffs. He has Thibs. So Thibs just coaches him up like, you're going to probably have to play this position. Or maybe they ran some small ball sometimes when he was with Chicago. But he's just such a smart, disciplined center. And he's just such a great leader that I won't be surprised if maybe he's a part of a coaching staff or like maybe he's a trainer.
I've been saying that. If Taj comes back with us, I mean, listen, I'm gonna give you another hot take after I touch on this.
Yeah.
I don't see Taj not with the organization next year. I just don't. I don't think he's ready to retire. And he could have a twilight deal, kind of like when Vince Carter went to the Hawks and people thought Vince Carter was going to be sitting on the end of the bench. And then next thing you know, he's playing 16, 17 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Taj could do that for another team, but it would be a bad team. Like a bad team would need Taj Gibson to play 14, 15 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Does Taj want to go take a veteran's minimum to go play for Sacramento and play 10 minutes or, play for Orlando, Detroit? Or will he take the veterans minimum to come back to the Knicks or just take a coaching position on the end of the bench? I think depending on what we do, he'll have to really take a hard look at his career at the end of this season. He's never won a ring. Is he going to go ring chase? I don't see him. I don't see a team that's competing for a championship like we need next year's version of Taj Gibson, whatever that's going to be. Because, age eventually does catch up to you. You don't know what next year is going to be. So I don't know, but I definitely see Taj. I don't see Taj not being a part of the Knicks organization next year. So, and the guy, we all talk about how smart he is. He's, like you said, very disciplined, easy to coach. a mentor to players, consummate professional his entire career, very charitable. He's just a good, solid dude.
I feel like he's definitely. I don't know if I don't know if I'm the only one that's noticed this. You probably noticed this too. Like maybe he talks to Toppin a lot because lately Toppin's been going like aggressive to the basket. Like he's been going to the free throw line, but obviously I didn't get to watch the '90s Knicks. Like my dad would always tell me about the '90s Knicks, but he just seems like an old school physical player, and I think that's what Thibs loves about him. Like he's
Yeah.
coachable, he's a good dude, but like I think he's only like 6'9", 6'10",
He's
but
about 9, yeah.
he's so strong. Like his ability to front people and just like his ability to rebound. Like he even like even though he doesn't shoot, he kind of has a mid range shot. Like
He does. He's got
like,
the elbow jumper. He's got
yeah,
the free throw line jumper. He can hit those shots. And, 10 foot from the baseline. He can hit those shots. Definitely. Just doesn't shoot. It's not his role.
yeah. But another player, Emmanuel Quickly. All right, so I no, I think Quickly was actually the player that had a good. He was probably the one that had the defensive possession on Lou Williams. He had a couple plays because he has such an interesting build. Because usually when you see a player that's like 6'3", it's like, oh, they don't have the longest of arms, but he has long arms.
He has very long arms.
It's really strange to see that, because you look at like Kemba, you look at like Lillard, like they don't have long
They don't
arms.
look. They don't look. Yeah. They don't look like they would ever be great defenders.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kyrie. Kyrie's only about 6'4". He doesn't look like he'd be a great defender. But Quick, I think, can eventually. Quick starting his career being coached by Tibbs. By year 3, Quick is going to be a good defender. He's already good because he's active and he hustles. And he's learning defensive strategy. And he is super active with his hands and his length. He gets wide when he's defending somebody. And he gets the crazy puppet hands.
Yeah.
I think if he gets, keeps his footwork going well, and he builds up some strength as he gets a little older. Now his ceiling is what it is because he's already 22, 23 years old. But if he gets stronger, Quick could actually be a solid defender in this league.
Yeah, like when I looked at like Quickly in this game for sure. Like he had a good game last time, so I was like wasn't expecting like the most from him, but he had some shots that could have been like momentum changing, like RJ too. Like I was like, I love when he sets his feet. I'm like, oh, that's going in.
Yeah.
The one he was really surprised he was that wide open in the corner. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Called it. He's like, damn, like why am I?
Yeah. It was like that was gonna bring the garden down.
He was just so excited to shoot it, but yeah, he was 2 for 9. But I didn't feel like he played bad like 2 for 9. Like he had a big floater, I think, down the stretch. Like
he did. He had that one big floater.
Like he had 4 points, but they were like an important like 4 points as well. Like no one looks at like they're like, oh, he only had 6 points, but they were like a valuable like 4 points. I thought Quickly played well.
I think 1 or 2 of his misses were rebounded offensively too. Mm-hmm. So that helps a lot when it's not so glaring that you missed a shot. Because like I said, a couple of his misses were rebounded. And I mean, Quick could have hit a shot or 2 that could have changed the complexity or changed the momentum. He just didn't. But he didn't do anything negative to the team. Like he didn't play bad. He just didn't hit a couple of those shots. But he also was hesitant, and he didn't take any Quickly S shots.
Oh, yeah.
He let the shots come to him this game, and I wish he would have been more assertive. Because it was a couple of times I was like, I want to see Quickly shoot that 28-foot 3. I want it right now. But we were playing from behind so much that you can afford to do that when you're down 3 or when you're down 2, when you're down 1, or when you're playing with house money, you're up 6. But when you're down 8 or 9, every possession counts, and you need to get a quality shot. So him shooting a 30-foot 3 down 9, that would be playing too much hero ball. That's like him just trying to like do it all himself. He let the game come to him. He was tentative. He was very tentative, man. But I don't know, that's what I say. Let's see what Drew's got to say here. Are the Hawks scared that Obi is gonna out Capella on another poster, or put Capella on another poster again? Obi, I will tell you this, Drew. Obi tried a dunk. We all saw it, right? Obi tried a dunk that was never gonna go in from the baseline, the one where he got fouled later in the game. And I was like, Obi be jumping up in the air as if he has a chance to dunk
like
on some people.
Like one play he drew a foul, like he drove baseline, and he was like,
That's what I'm talking about. Like if nobody was there, if nobody was there, he could have made the dunk. But it was like, dude, he jumped as if people were gonna disappear, like he was in a video game.
yeah.
I'm like, there's no way he's making it through that sea of bodies. So even if he could jump over them, he hasn't done that yet. He hasn't done like a Blake Griffin type dunk from Blake Griffin's rookie year where he actually like dunked like really on somebody. He's gotten up on some lobs and some things like that on the baseline where he's kind of had clear path. He hasn't shown the physical strength to really dunk. He hasn't done no Miles Bridges like dunks on anybody, right? But he be trying.
Or so, like that dunk Anthony Edwards had.
Oh, the dunk Anthony Edwards. Yeah, Obi ain't. I don't even think Obi has that. And he's probably
had a poster though.
RJ had a poster. But like to like literally, man, listen, I'm gonna say this all the time, man. I love Kevin Knox. I still think Kevin Knox has a future in this league, right?
Somewhere else.
I think Kevin Knox is gonna end up on a crappy team, putting up like Kelly Oubre Jr. Like minutes or something like that, or numbers. Like he'll probably end up on a team like the Suns before the Suns were the Suns, and when Kelly Oubre was like getting like 16, 17 points a game, Kevin Knox could do that, right? But man, Jesus, if we could have got Miles Bridges or Michael Porter Jr. in that damn draft.
Michael Porter Jr. is right there.
Michael Porter Jr. But we nobody talks about the Knicks missing out on that pick because everybody chose not to draft Michael Porter Jr.
Like
so literally, everybody decided not to. It made sense for Denver to because they didn't need anybody at that pick. So it was like, hey, we're at 13, whatever. They didn't, and their team was so good to begin with. So they're like, we don't even need a guy who's even gonna play this year. The Knicks needed somebody who was gonna play that year, and with our history of drafting or trading for injured players, I was like okay with us passing up on Michael Porter Jr. I was like, because the worst thing that could happen to the Knicks is if the Knicks draft somebody and he's sitting all year. Because we needed help then. Like, we were bad. We needed our draft pick to come in and play. So I was like, if we got another guy in a suit, it's just not good for the Knicks, from our mental psyche as a franchise. We've had too many guys in suits. Yeah, Kristaps in a suit. I still remember the Antonio McDyess trade that debilitated our team for years. And he tears his Achilles in the first preseason game. It was either the first preseason game or the first game of the regular season. And I'm like, are you effing kidding me? We just traded for this dude, gave him, he's getting paid all this money and he's hurt and he basically never did anything for us.
Did you hear about this story? I actually just found out about this. All right, you know how we drafted Frederick Weiss over Metta World Peace?
Oh yeah.
Do you know why we didn't draft him, right?
No.
So he was actually on Knicks Fan TV. He went out to a party, I think it was the day of he had an interview the day later, but the Knicks found out about it and they're like, we're not drafting you.
Wow.
Because he went out somewhere. So he said he wanted to be a Knick.
He did.
He wanted to win a championship with the Knicks, he said. But as simple as this, I effed it up. You can go back and watch the interview. It's actually a really good one. He seems like his whole heart, even when he was on the Lakers, he was like, I just want a championship with the Lakers, but I want to win one with the Knicks. And of course, he came when we had Phil Jackson, tried to bring in Derek Fisher, and he was texting the wives of the parents. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Or the players. That was such a disaster.
Yeah.
But, of course, we got the player that got dunked on by Vince.
Get rid of Fortnite.
God. I'll never get over that. I still don't know why he wore a Fortnite suit.
Yeah, he wanted to connect with the youth. But so I'm gonna give you my take really quick on that foul, that trap that wasn't a foul.
Okay.
In the Trae Young play. And what I'm noticing now is how the refs officiate Trae Young.
Mm-hmm.
In no other circumstance would they have called the foul for any other two NBA players. If you had Julius Randle in that same scuffle with the guy Reggie Bullock size, if you had Reggie Bullock tying up Bogdan Bogdanovic or anybody else from the Hawks, they would not have called that a foul.
Yeah.
But Trae Young looks like a little kid who's being bullied in some points. And because if you allow players to be physical with Trae Young, it would take away the offensive spectacle that is Trae Young, right? So, and the league wants that. So they have to protect him. So in that moment where you got Reggie Bullock reaching in with full hand on ball, it looks like Trae Young is being mugged. It literally looks like he's being fouled or roughed up when he wasn't. If he was another NBA player of Reggie Bullock's size or even normal NBA player size, they never call a foul. They call that a jump ball. But I think they feel like they have to protect this dude like he's a kid, because sometimes in skirmishes like that, he looks like a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's guarding somebody and somebody's backing him down, if they bump him hard enough to knock over a tree branch, they're going to call an offensive foul on the other player. And they'll be like, yo, dude, I could make that bump on anybody else. You would not call that. But for him, it looks so egregious. I think that's why he gets some of the calls that he does. Now, the plays that he does where he gets 1 foot step past you, which would quickly doing early in the season, you can't help it. Those are fouls. When he gets 1 step past you and he jumps off the wrong foot unexpectedly and you run into his back, that is just great offense. And we saw quickly do it a lot early in the season. And just for some reason, his floater stopped going in. He's not doing it anymore.
He tried to do it this game. He didn't get it. Did you see that?
Yeah, he did. He did. And he got mugged. Quickly got mugged on that play.
It's a foul, but it's not like, no, I hate the plays. Like, yes, there's some plays they actually run into his back, but I hate this. So he drives the basket, stops on a dime, and then it's like he jumps.
Yeah. Or when he jumps backwards into the person and he does flailing shit.
And because he's so much smaller too, that it seems like just a big man can't contest him when he goes to the basket. So like if someone's going straight up, right, he like flails his body like backwards like into the person because he's so small that it's like,
well, they gave him that call against Taj in game 1. Taj is jumping up, straight up, and fading back. Now maybe they could say it was a foul because he's moving back. He's supposed to be going straight up. He was kind of going back, but Trae is coming into his body. His knee and arm make contact with Taj Gibson, and they call a foul. If anything, it was a no call all day. Taj kept his position literally straight vertical. You can see it in slow motion. And I'm like, that is not a foul, because Taj was basically jumping before Trae even got to the spot and left his feet. So it wasn't like Taj impeded his where he was coming. Taj was already jumping up in the air when Trae Young was here, and Trae Young continued to, come into him. I was like, oh my God, but can't get on the refs too much, because like last game, Trae Young didn't shoot his first free throw into the 4th quarter. But then in the 4th quarter, he shot 9.
That's the thing that pissed me off. Like, you call them. Like, you didn't call them all game, and then
then the 4th quarter is like every other second. Same thing with this game. But then again, also kudos to the defense. Now, mind you, they give Trae a lot of old late shit. They was basically letting him go to the lane, but they were able to defend without fouling because he only shot 4 free throws. So they did a good job of contesting, not letting him just get a bunch of free buckets, because God doesn't miss free throws. So, I will give them that little bit of credit, man.
Yeah, when Trae Young starting, like, I used to love Trae Young. Now he's starting to become like one of my least favorite players, because he's now starting to become a villain. Like, he really, like, he does not care. Like, he seems like when he's not going up against the Knicks, if you see the interviews, he just seems like a chill younger dude. But like, this man was like smiling at the crowd, just like, I don't give a shit.
Hey, just think, he hasn't played against a crowd all season for the most part.
Yeah.
Even when he's at home, for the 2,000 fans that are there, it's just not the same, right? So now he gets the first time in the playoffs, and he's doing it in the Garden. He gets to show, because he was kind of fiery at Oklahoma. Was Oklahoma State?
Oklahoma, yeah.
He was kind of fiery when people were like criticizing him and saying, he's not all that. He was very fiery in that tournament that he was in. He does like to go at the crowd. He does like to draw at the crowd because he likes to prove people wrong. And he got exactly what he wanted. He got a crowd that he could go at. And I believe that this will be the next chapter in Knicks rivalries, because us and the Hawks are in the same trajectory age-wise, in our development of our young players, kind of talent-wise, I think we could continue to have these battles for the next 3 or 4 years. And it can be reminiscent of some of our old rivalries. We went from having the Bulls rivalry, right? Then we had the Pacers rivalry. Well, the Heat was in there somewhere because we had some battles against the Heat when Lonzo was playing with the Heat. We hated the Heat. So you had the Bulls, then the Pacers, then the Heat rivalry. This could be that next Knicks rivalry because since then we haven't really had any because we've been terrible. We never had a rivalry with Boston, especially like when the Big Three was there. This new age Boston team, we haven't had a rivalry with them. It was never a rivalry with the Nets until like this year, because they were bad. We were bad when they were good. We were bad, and then we've just been bad. If you think about all the teams in the East, we never had a rivalry with the Miami Heat when LeBron was there because they were good and we stunk. So. And when the year that Carmelo was here, that we were good that 1 year, you can't build a rivalry in 1 year.
And Melo was like friends with LeBron.
And he's friends with everybody. Yeah, so you need a couple of run-ins. You know what I'm saying? So you need a playoff series and then the rematch, then the revenge game. So now you got the playoff series. Then next year, whoever is the loser of this series, the first time we play them in each other's arena, those are revenge type games with high atmosphere. So that will build. And hey, listen, we happen to meet them in the playoffs 2 years straight. That's a bona fide rivalry. Expect some people to be I can see some people getting laid on the floor before this series ends. And I'm surprised I'm not seeing it because we took some hard fouls. We took way more hard fouls this game than we gave. And that's one thing I would say I'm a little disappointed with. We didn't lay any wood this game.
Yeah. I feel like there's another vibe people really don't like about Trae Young is that he just seems like someone, let's just say like he's not as good as this player. It's like, oh, I want to be Stephen Curry, and he becomes like a lighter version. Because like he does the same celebrations, like the shimmy shit, and then like the thing that he points up at God. I'm like, that's just the thing. I'm like, just be your own player, but he's still good. But the thing I thought we did a good job with him, like today, he still had nice passes. It was either we still allow him to facilitate or we make him just a score of the ball. Because if we got to the point that he was just a score of the ball and like allow him to shoot those very deep threes or whatever, because we know in the pick and roll it's like impossible to stop him. He's gonna make every single floater. It's like literally practice to him. But if we literally just continuously allow him to just shoot and score the basketball, it's gonna freeze out the other players, and maybe that's why. Like I don't know, Hunter played well at the beginning, but it seemed like he wasn't getting a lot of shots like after that.
He didn't. Nah, he didn't. He got hot early. Got a couple of open shots. He hit them, and then he went back to being who he was. We neutralized a lot of their players. Now, later in the game, they just missed some shots. Gallo missed some open shots. Bogey missed some open threes.
Hunter,
but and Hunter missed a couple of open shots. He did hit one big one, but he missed a couple of open shots. But if I will say, if I equate Trae Young's game to this one, I see it when he's running that high pick and roll. And he's got that floater going, and he's got that rim runner going to Capella or whatever. Oh, my phone. Okay, so I'm running out of battery here. It reminds me of Harden with Capella in the Rockets playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can't stop it, right? It's like if you come at him, he's gonna throw the perfect lob to Capella, or he's gonna throw a lob to this person, whatever. And it just seems like automatic. Either he's gonna get fouled, he's gonna hit a floater, he's gonna go all the way to the basket, or he's gonna throw the lob. And when you watch it, when Houston was running it to perfection, it was like you can't stop it. But for some reason, they couldn't win series.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow or another, this perfect basketball is always halted. So Trae was doing it, and it looked amazing. But then if you look at the numbers, you're like, well, he did throw a lob to Collins, and he did throw like 2 to Capella, and he did have a couple of floaters, but they only had 105 points. And in this game, it looked like he was automatic and he couldn't miss. Yeah. And then he was doing his same high pick and roll. He was getting to the basket at will, but they had less than 100 points. So what is going on here when he's not doing that? Now, part of it is Trae Young can't be in the game the whole game. So that offense is so two-dimensional that once you take that out, they don't know what the hell they're doing. And that's when we seen them throwing balls out of bounds. They were throwing crazy passes. They were shooting shots over the backboard. Then when they got down, I mean, later in the game, too, it's a whole nother topic. When they were down, I guess they were down 8 or 9 after the foul. And Trae Young misses a 3, and then they get the rebound, and he just throws up this 3 from like mid deep. And I'm like, now, when we're down 6 or 7 with a minute and a half left, we still run our offense because we believe we can get a stop. They completely panicked in the last like minute 40 of the game. Looked like it was literally like 30 seconds left. And I was like, wow, they really just start throwing up shots. It was so weird because I've seen us with 45 seconds left get like 3 possessions. We've seen games where with 45 seconds left in the end of the game, we've gotten like 3 possessions. I think they just knew that that wasn't realistic. They were down 8 or 9 or something like that, and they just like once they were just chucking it up. But yeah, it's like once you kind of like halt that game plan at high pick and roll, however they do it, or when the personnel changes, when Capella has to go to the bench or something like that, it's like then their offense is kind of just like, let's see if Bogey can run off a screen and hit a 3.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of a little bit because they're obviously not the same player. Reminds me of like the older Phoenix Suns. Like they were like fun to watch. They ran that pick and roll a lot with like Steve Nash
and Amari.
But they were also like when that wasn't going, like what really were they? Like they were fun to watch. Like Trae Young's fun to watch, but is that team gonna win an NBA championship? But that's actually someone like Trae Young actually said he models his game after Trae Young because like his core vision, like he is a good passer and he's really good in the pick and roll. He's just like it's so interesting and it's crazy. Like he's like so young, but he just runs the pick and roll to perfection.
Yeah. And now what I'm seeing from Trae is Nate McMillan has coached him into making winning plays and not playing so erratic. He's turning the ball over a heck of a lot less. He's not just shooting 8 or 9 threes a game. He's taking what comes to him in the game plan, and I've been really impressed with him over these past 2 games because what I was expecting from him was turnovers because our defense I felt like our defense was going to pressure him more. He's going to be forcing the turnover. And I felt like he was going to play some hero ball and take some bad shots. Now, mind you, having Bogey there with him, another guy that's a bona fide scorer. Now, Bogey's not a guy that's going to break you down off the dribble or something like that. He's not doing any of that. Yeah. But you get a man the ball, he can get up a shot in a second and a half, and he can hit it. Bogey hit big shots with him. He did get a little cold. I think Trae having more talent around him, because even like think about Oklahoma, right? He's Oklahoma. He's a one-man band, right? He was dribble, try to break you down or shoot a long 3 or shoot some type of 3 that's going to put me on SportsCenter, right? And it wasn't winning basketball. It's exciting to watch, but it's really not winning basketball because if you're not, and if you look at his 3-point percentage, he shot 35% from 3 this season.
Yeah, it was like
34%. He's a high volume 3-point shooter. That's not good, for a guy that shoots a lot of 3s. Same thing with Luka. Luka's shot looks pretty when it goes in. Same thing with Kristaps. When you got a 7-footer that hits 3-pointers and they look so pretty going up in the air, when they go and they look so beautiful, and you're like, man, this guy's 7'4" and he could block shots and hit 3s. But when you look at the actual percentage and he's shooting 33.5%, it's like, well, that's not really helping too much. You know what I mean? So I like how he's reined his game in. He's taking quality shots. He's taking whatever the defense gives him. If it gives him a floater, he gives him a floater. And if you got a guy like that shooting 47 to 50% from the field, they're gonna be hard to beat because that's what Steph Curry does.
Yeah. Someone said, Drew says, I don't know, the Hawks had their chance at Luka, missed out on him, and now they should scramble to grab a superstar like Kawhi Leonard. So I want to hear your thoughts on this real quick. This should actually be the last thing, because I actually have school in like 6. But obviously the Clippers have been extremely disappointing. It's just crazy to think about this because actually like a couple years ago, it just felt like it was a couple years ago they were blowing it up. No Chris Paul, no Blake Griffin, no JJ Redick, no DeAndre Jordan. And then everyone was excited, like, because they originally drafted Miles Bridges on draft night. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was drafted by the Hornets, so they ended up being traded for each other. I was really, really high on Shea at the time out of Kentucky. Of course, sadly, we drafted the wrong Kentucky guy. Even though I think Knox has talent, he just needs a change of scenery. He just isn't built for a big market. I think that's the thing with Knox. Um, but anyway, like they had like this young core of guys. They actually went. They were the 8th seed. They lost in the first round though with Doc Rivers, and then they show they still have like a winning culture even with a totally different roster. I think Gallinari was there,
Gallo there, yup.
Harrell there, and all that. I don't know if JJ was on Philly at the time,
Mm-hmm.
but anyway, they showed that they have this winning culture. So everyone is like, Kawhi's going to the Lakers. He's going to the Lakers. Like that's where he's from. When the whole time he was a Clippers fan this entire time. So he teamed up with Paul George, and it really sucks because Paul George gets a lot of slander for not stepping up in the playoffs, but this was the same dude. Like, well, how many years ago was it? It was in 2013. It was just like killing us in the playoffs. Like with Danny, so athletic, it sucks that he went down with that injury. So like Paul George and Kawhi, some people were saying, "Oh, like that's better than AD and like LeBron." There's like more longevity to it. And now it's like you look at it now, like they were saying they're too small last year. They got rid of Harrell. They brought in Ibaka. They have Patrick Beverly. I still don't. Oh, they did bring in Rondo. I guess he's okay. When you have superstars, you don't really need that fantastic point guard.
Yeah.
But now they're down 2-0 versus the Mavericks after being disappointing and losing to the Nuggets last year. I don't think Kawhi's the problem. Paul George is a slight problem, not as big as some people think. But Tyronn Lue, after watching him, he is a terrible coach. I think they gave up on Doc Rivers way too early, and they really got greedy. But now there's like rumors that they might blow it up again. Do you think they should blow it up? And do you think we will get Kawhi in free agency if they lose the series? Or is he going to break our hearts and like go to Miami?
Kawhi is going to look – it's going to put a stain on Kawhi's kind of like the legacy he's building if he jumps ship again. Mm-hmm. And then, because then if he jumps ship again, he's going to be leaving Paul George hanging because Paul George is still under contract. So that is going to look really bad. Now, I will say this. I think they have too many players that are the same size, the same height, running around trying to win games. And you just feel like, oh, it's kind of like, to me, it's like the Wizards and Bradley and the Wizards, Bradley Beal and Russ Westbrook. All of your talent is in the backcourt. You're only gonna go but so far. It's like Portland with Dame and CJ McCollum. All of your talent is in the backcourt. You're only gonna go but so far. Clippers, all of your talent is on the wing. You're only gonna go but so far. Like you got Marcus Morris now starting. He's supposed to be a backup. So now if you got Marcus Morris, Kawhi Leonard, and then you got Marcus Morris starting, he can't even get 8 points a game. I seen some stats a couple of nights ago. He shot like 4 shots. And I'm like, wow, like with a fall from him coming to us and like really starting to light it up, looking like he's, I knew when he went to the Clippers, he wasn't going to be lighted up like that because he's playing with 2 superstars. So I'm like, but he's still going to be able to contribute, like be the number 1 guy off the bench. But now they got him in the starting role. So now it's like, who's playing the power forward? Who's playing this? Because PG is really a small forward, but he's playing like the 2. Mm-hmm. And then Kawhi can play the 3, but he can D some 4s. So you got Marcus Morris in there who can D some 3s and 4s. It just seemed like it's a log jam. Yeah. And then the supporting cast is just whoever's. So I think other teams are just constructed their roster. And I'm like, okay, Paul George just say he has 30. Kawhi Leonard's not the type of guy that drops 30, right? Paul George might have 30. Just say Kawhi Leonard has 30. Where is the other points coming from? Patrick Beverly's there for defense. He's not going to score. They don't have Harrell anymore, which was a huge mistake for them letting him go. Marcus Morris would score if he was coming off the bench, but now you got him starting. So you got like Zubac or whatever. I don't even know who their backup power forward is. I just think their team is not constructed well. So unless they can get some changing pieces, I guess you got to blow it up. You know what I mean? Like because you'd have to really evaluate where you're going wrong and get some change in pieces. But before you go, let me say there's no continuity in the Clippers offense. Is Kawhi 2 times the PG. Yeah. That's what it is. And they don't have a solid point guard to like run the offense. They have two ball dominant wings who are like taking turn running like you said, running the offense. And it doesn't look pretty at all. Definitely doesn't look pretty. But I will say this last point. You can give me your thoughts on this before you close out.
Okay.
Notice something in this game today. Now, we talk about all the time. And listen, guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go check out Hearthstone Media, man. I make great Knicks and Giants content, among with some many other things that I do.
Yep.
But you're gonna see some Giants and Knicks stuff. See my man Harold wearing that Steelers shirt. And hey, much respect to the Steelers. I got a lot of Steelers fans. I know a lot of Steelers fans, so I got much respect for the Steelers. So, we always talk about the Knicks needing a point guard next season, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see that wall they've been setting up against Julius when he's been coming off the corner, spin move. Capella's been stepping up, block. Like he's had a hard time dealing with the double team, and part of that, like I said, is because his wingman happened to hit him threes. But could you imagine Julius playing next to a stretch five, where that double team that's coming won't be coming from a center because maybe the center has to go out and guard somebody at the high, at the corner or something like that. So, not saying I want this guy, but could you imagine?
I know you're gonna
one of our centers being like Brook Lopez.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say someone else, but I actually think Brook Lopez is realistic. I'm not sure if like they believe in him long term.
No,
like,
definitely not. He's 31 years old. He's become a like 3-and-D center or stretch five.
Mm-hmm.
The
thing with that. See, I'm so tough, like, because Porzingis now he's playing like center for the Mavericks, and when he was like the big man, obviously for us, I hate losing games for some reason because of a big man taking the last shot.
Yeah,
but I don't know what it is. I'm just kind of like I like the old school type of big man. Like I'm not a big fan of like sometimes he shoots too many threes for me. Like he shoots like 5 threes, and like I've seen it. Obviously, we didn't lose a lot of games, but there were some games like he was actually like shooting them out of like basketball games. But he also is a good defender, not like he's a guy that just chucks up threes. Like I'm sorry, but that's kind of what Porzingis has turned out to be. He's literally a chucker.
He's just a guy at the top of the three waiting for Luka or Tim Hardaway Jr. to kick it to him or throw the pass back after the screen. He doesn't even run like high pick and roll anymore. He doesn't even run like pick and roll with Luka, which we thought was going to be the thing. We were like, man, could you imagine KP and Luka in a pick and roll? And who you're going to guard? They can both shoot the three. They can both shoot the J. They don't even run that offense. I don't really know. I don't think they know what to do with each other.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Porzingis definitely doesn't move the same anymore. But some Knicks fans, I don't know where they get these rumors from. Oh, we're getting this player, we're getting this player. You know how it goes. Like, some Knicks fans are saying, oh, we're getting Jaren Jackson Jr.
I just saw that one popping up.
This man was just drafted in like 2018. They're not going to give 1 year of an injury. Mm-hmm. Of course, I would love it. He's kind of an unorthodox player. I don't know if you've seen him. He has this weird.
Oh, yeah, I know. He has a weird, ugly ass jump shot. Like, the man averages about 1.8 blocks a game. He gets you about 1 steal a game. He plays solid defense. He's got super crazy long arm. He was drafted like number 3 for a reason.
Yeah.
And the only reason people don't know about him or his game, it ain't because he was injured this year. It's because he plays for Memphis.
Yeah.
Like, that's just it. Like, if you're unlucky enough to get drafted to Sacramento or Memphis, I'm sorry. If you're in the top 4, because what's going to happen is you're always going to end up on the wrong team. If the Timberwolves, Memphis or Sacramento is drafted in the top 4, I apologize, because you're going to end up on one of them teams, and you're always either going to end up on the wrong team or they're going to pick the wrong player. It's just like Culver going to Jarrett Culver went to the Timberwolves. They're going to draft the guy that doesn't fit what they do, or they're just going to draft a bust. Or you're going to go there and you're just going to be in NBA, purgatory for 5 years of your career. Like Jaren Jackson. Lucky for Jaren Jackson, they just got, Ja Morant. Because had it not been for them getting Ja Morant, he's in purgatory.
Yeah, like, I guess we should thank the Kings then for not drafting Luka just because they didn't like his dad. So they end up with Marvin Bagley, who I liked coming out, but I looked at him as kind of not a one-trick pony. He was like good. He's a good player offensively. It was just like The defense wasn't there. The jump shot wasn't there. I wasn't really high when it came to Marvin Bagley coming out of Duke because I looked at it as this. I thought Luke was that good. People were saying he's slow, but when I watched him, I'm like, he's not slow. It's just that he's slow to like a Westbrook or a LeBron, but he's just so smart that it doesn't even matter that he's so called slow because he covers so much ground. His footwork is so good because some of these European players, the reason they can get to their spots and the reason their footwork's so good, they played soccer. Like,
Yeah.
and Luka Doncic is just such a smart player. Like,
he's not slow, he's methodical.
Yeah, there you go. Like, he may look like he kind of has like a slow shot, but like on his step back, he covers so much ground, and he's also really he's not like crafty. Like, he's not like he's shifty, but in like a weird way. Like he has great body control.
Yeah, and he has a big body too.
Kind of like RJ in a way. It like looks like, oh, that's a bad drive going to the basket, but somehow he adjusts. Luke is such a smart player, and like he may not be like flashy like a LeBron coming out, but he kind of was that like LeBron hyped up prospect, but like European version. And
yeah,
I'm glad he didn't go to the Kings because I feel like they would have ruined him.
And know another thing the Kings did when the Kings draft. Now, mind you, they gave up on this young man. I thought he had some talent, but he's kind of like almost like washed out of the league right now. When the Kings drafted Marvin Bagley Jr., they still had Willie Cauley-Stein on the team. And I was like, Willie Cauley-Stein. I wanted the Knicks to get Willie Cauley-Stein. I was like, hey.
They drafted, but they had Cousins.
Yeah. So I was like, dude, they just got all of these 6'10", 6'11" dudes. Like, that's the future of the NBA. Like Marvin Bagley Jr. doesn't even shoot threes. So I was like, why? It was weird. But that's what the Kings do. It was weird. But man, young man, I'm gonna let you go ponder on that thought, man. Julius with a stretch 5.
Mm-hmm.
What could it be if we could get one? Think about who you think about, because nobody's talking about that. Everybody's talking about Nick in the point guard. That was the one thing I didn't really like about the Noel signing, even though I like what he's gave us this season, of course, it was no change from what Mitch gave us or what Mitch did. I feel like they're like the same. It was like it would be so amazing if we had a 5 that stretched the floor. They just added different elements to the game. And then we went and went and signed Pell for depth, and he's the exact same. He's just gonna block shots and get rebounds. He can't shoot a shot outside of 2.5 feet. So if we had room for a center, I felt like they could have tried to get a center that could stretch the floor. Still, like, they could have written out DeMarcus Cousins. That was out there for him. That would at least been a change. Yeah, he's not gonna play defense at tips once, but.
Wait, did it like crash? Because he was like, I heard him, but he was like breaking up. Wait, let me see. Because like he was staticky for me. It might have just been for me. Let me see what went on to happen. But you have a great night, man. I don't know. Let me see. Was he? Yeah, it was probably just breaking up for me. That's weird. Oh, okay, your phone died. I got you, man. Yeah, catch you tomorrow, man. Have a great one. Okay, it was. Let me see. Oh, yeah, it was. Okay. Yeah, it was funny. It just cut out. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys are amazing. The Knicks come out victorious. I was really tired while I'm doing this. I woke up at like 6 or 7 for school. That's why my recap to Heartstar Media probably wasn't the greatest. Couldn't remember a lot of things because I'm extremely tired. But I appreciate all your support. My laptop's about to die. Perfect timing. And I appreciate all your support. You guys are amazing. And peace out.